J. Robert Oppenheimer, was an American theoretical physicist. During the Manhattan Project, Oppenheimer was the director of Los Alamos Laboratory and was responsible for the research and design of the atomic bomb. He is often known as the father of the atomic bomb. By the time the Manhattan Project was launched in the fall of 1942, Oppenheimer was already considered an outstanding theoretical physicist and had been deeply involved in the exploration of the possibility of an atomic bomb. Throughout the previous year, he had conducted research on fast neutrons, calculating how much material might be needed for a bomb, and how efficient it might be. Although Oppenheimer had little managerial experience, and had a troublesome past relationship with the communist cause, General Leslie Groves recognized his extraordinary scientific brilliance. Less than 3 years after Groves selected Oppenheimer to direct weapons development, the United States dropped 2 atomic bombs on Japan. As director of Los Alamos Laboratory, Oppenheimer proved to be an outstanding choice. Oppenheimer was married to a botanist, Kitty. They had 2 children, Peter and Tony. Oppenheimer was born on April 22, 1904. The Oppenheimer family was part of the Ethical Culture Society, an outgrowth of American Reform Judaism, founded and led at the time by Dr. Felix Adler. The Progressive Society emphasized social justice, civic responsibility, and secular humanism. Adler also founded the School of Ethical Culture, where Oppenheimer enrolled in September 1911. His academic prowess was apparent early on, and by the age of 10, Oppenheimer was studying minerals, physics, and chemistry. His correspondence with the Mineralogical Club of New York was so advanced that the society invited him to deliver a lecture, not realizing that Robert was a 12-year-old boy. He graduated as valedictorian of his high school in 1921, but fell ill with a near-fatal case of dysentery, and was forced to delay enrollment at Harvard. After being bedridden for months, his parents arranged for him to spend the summer of 1922 in New Mexico, a haven for health seekers. Robert lived on a ranch 25 miles northeast of Santa Fe with high school teacher Herbert Smith as a companion and mentor. From there, he traveled on horseback for 5 or 6 days in the wilderness. This experience restored Oppenheimer's health and instilled a deep love for the high desert plains. Oppenheimer enrolled at Harvard in September 1922. He graduated in 3 years, excelling in a variety of subjects. Although he majored in chemistry, Oppenheimer eventually realized that his real interest was in studying physics. In 1925, Oppenheimer began graduate work in physics at the Cavendish Laboratory in Cambridge, England. J.J. Thomson, who was awarded the 1906 Nobel Prize in Physics for detecting electrons, agreed to accept Oppenheimer as his student. At Cavendish, Oppenheimer realized that his talent was in theoretical, rather than experimental, physics, and he accepted an invitation from Max Born, director of the Institute of Theoretical Physics at the University of Göttingen, to study with him in Germany. Oppenheimer was fortunate to be in Europe at a pivotal time in the world of physics, when European physicists were then developing the groundbreaking theory of quantum mechanics. Oppenheimer received his doctorate in 1927, and accepted professorships at the University of California, Berkeley, and the California Institute of Technology. At Berkeley, he became good friends with Ernest Lawrence, one of the world's leading experimental physicists and inventor of the cyclotron. Lawrence named his second son after Robert. After the war, Oppenheimer advised the Atomic Energy Commission and lobbied for international arms control. Starting in 1947, Oppenheimer led the Institute for Advanced Study in Princeton, New Jersey, where he gathered great scientists. What we didn't understand, we explained to each other. His security clearance, revoked in 1954 in a hearing during the Second Red Scare. Oppenheimer's long-standing sympathies with communists were dredged up and his clearance was revoked just 32 hours before it was due to expire. Oppenheimer had made political enemies by opposing the development of the hydrogen bomb, and revoking his license would deprive him of political power. The scientific community was outraged at the treatment of Oppenheimer, and railed against Edward Teller, who testified against him at his trial. Along with Albert Einstein, Bertrand Russell, and Joseph Rotblat, he founded the World Academy of Arts and Sciences in 1960. He continued to lecture around the world, and was awarded the Enrico Fermi Prize in 1963, and died of throat cancer in 1967.